Now for a look at what's got one Chinese blogger writing today. Our blogger today is called Chao Lei. He writes in Sohu.com, and Chao is actually currently the vice editor of US China Press. That's a Chinese language newspaper in the United States. He was previously an anchor on an LA radio station called AM 1370. Now, while Chinese mothers travelling to the United States to give birth and thereby to acquire citizenship for their offspring is nothing new, in his blog post today, Chao looks at another slightly different aspect of so-called birth tourism. He cites a recent Reuters report on a small but growing trend of well-off Chinese families finding American women to become surrogate mothers. The surrogacy is, of course, primarily to allow the couples who can't have a child themselves to become parents, but choosing an American woman as the surrogate brings other advantages with it. Now, because surrogacy is illegal in China, the baby will be born in the United States and therefore have a right to US citizenship and the possibility of applying for green cards for its parents later on in life. The report quotes John Veltman, president of a surrogacy agency in Boston, who said businesses like his had seen a sharp rise in the demand from wealthy Chinese people. Here's our blogger's take. The first reason Chinese couples do this is to have more children. As long as the baby is an American, parents won't be restricted by the one-child policy. But the second reason may be more important. It is a path to immigration. The most direct way to emigrate to the US is to apply as an investment immigrant. The amount that must be invested is at least $500,000. But if the immigrants don't choose their investment wisely, this can result in an immigration failure. Now, a new choice has emerged for Chinese people who want to emigrate to the US: find an American surrogate mother. The American-born baby will enjoy all the privileges of a US citizen after it comes back to China, with advantages in terms of education and job seeking. It will also be easier for him or her to get into US universities than other Chinese students. When the child turns 21, he or she can apply for green cards for their parents. This is also why so many pregnant Chinese women have gone to the US to give birth, to get green cards for all the family 20 years on. Some affluent Chinese say they want a safe boat hole abroad. They believe that if chaos were to come to China, they might become targets and that their property will be safer in countries with a better concept of law. And now for a few comments we've taken to give you an idea of some of the reactions to that piece. So this poster, fairly furious about the behaviour of these couples. The rich have already stolen enough money from the Chinese people, then they give our money to other countries and let their offspring enjoy that wealth. And this poster, not too happy either. Look what these affluent people are like. No wonder ordinary Chinese people are often so cynical about the rich. They're acting like feudal emperors finding wives in other countries. How can they talk about freedom? What they're doing is the exact opposite. But at least one net user seems to be okay with this. There's an old saying in Western society: everything that God's eyes can see can be traded. So I think surrogacy is okay. Their ideas are simply more advanced than ours. That's why Western countries are richer than China. Well, with that comment, we wrap up our China blog section. Next up, we ask people on the streets of Beijing about a commonly heard argument that schoolboys in China aren't quite what they used to be.